Throughout history, people have made amazing accomplishments that define themselves. Now, it's our turn to tell those accomplishments, to tell his story, her story, their story, and even your story. With Mike Wexler.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Your Story. My name is Mike Wexler, and today I have a very special guest on a very special episode. So in the past, I've been known to interview a lot of people when it comes to wrestlers, broadcasters, whatever the case may be. But I always like to expand on this podcast. I always like to talk to people with stories that need to be told and that are passionate at what they do. This individual is very passionate at what he does, and this man has killed it on the TikTok game, whether it is doing the starting lineups for all these randomized teams and randomized players, and that's how I came across from him on TikTok as well. So ladies and gentlemen, it's cool to finally get a conversation with this person, the one and only Hunter Jones. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Mike? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're repping the jersey, you're repping the hat, you're already ready to go.
Yeah, I got LaMelo Ball on right now, folks. So I got the jersey collection back there. So.
Oh man, I mean, what's the jersey collection like? I mean, it has to be some iconic names.
I've got a couple. I'm actually growing the NBA collection right now. My NFL collection's pretty dim. I've always been a Chiefs fan my entire life, so I've only got like 2 Chiefs jerseys right now. Mm-hmm. But NBA, I've got multiple different. I got from LaMelo Ball, I got Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Devin Booker. I've even got, if anybody knows the white chocolate, Jason Williams, I got one of those back there. Mm. Just a couple different names. I got all sorts of jerseys back there.
Oh man, like that's legendary because I only own like 1-2 jerseys, and that one of them's a Dodger jersey. That's a Chase Utley jersey, and then the other one, I don't know about nice for right now. And then I'm kidding, but no, thank you. And then the other one happens to be a Kobe Bryant jersey, number 24.
Oh, hey, legend right there. I do have a couple baseball jerseys back there. I've got Fernando Tatis Jr. and Anthony Rendon, two of my favorite guys there. So
man. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to, you just named a lot of people that are like huge stars and, of course, legends. Right. So speaking about this thing of sports, I mean, like what started the passion for sports for you?
So I honestly kind of started whenever I was a kid. I had 2 older brothers, and I don't know exactly what picked it up, but I do remember specifically I lived in a small town called Buffalo, Missouri, population of like 5K maybe. And there was this old little like discount store out there, and you could buy little packs of football cards from them, right? Mm-hmm. And I was a huge Chiefs fan, and me and my brothers, we would all go out there and we'd buy football cards, and we'd keep them in our binders, and we'd keep track of all of them. And I just grew up a huge Chiefs fan ever since I started doing that. And so from that day forward, I just fell in love with sports, basically. Basketball being the main one. Basketball was the only sport that I could just remember that I played from day one all the way up. So yeah, I would say probably somewhere around the age 5 or 6, I just kind of picked it up and it kind of ran away with it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is because I love sports myself, but like basketball and baseball have a special place in my heart. Like it's always about the game and the way it's played. And it just creates memorable moments for you to just like still remember to this day.
Oh yeah, for sure. And now the thing is like, some of my best memories come from sports, especially like in high school. My team got second in the state championship. Coming from Missouri, I know, don't roast me, but it's second in state championships in Missouri, and I have literally some of the best memories of my entire life from that run right there. So, yeah, sports mean everything.
Oh, yeah. And then speaking about sports, let's get into one of the things that I was interested in knowing. So when you created the TikTok account, when you did, the very famous starting lineups with the voice and putting the emphasis to it, was that an original idea? Was that just something that you just came on the fly? Like, where did that come from?
So believe it or not, I actually had a buddy. His name was, I call him JP. And we were always like big on TikTok. Like we always scrolled through TikTok and stuff like that. Well, I had kind of seen the videos on my For You page, but I was just like, hey, those are cool. Well, then my buddy Jack, he was like, dude, I bet you would be really good at those. And I was like, you think I should just go like all out? And he was like, I mean, do it. Why not? So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I'll do it. So I was like, I recorded the video and I uploaded the first one. And I woke up in the morning and I had like 6,000 views. And I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. Like I told him, I'm like, we got to do a part 2. We're doing a part 2. And I've got videos of what I was doing literally like the night before, or not like the day before, like the same day that I recorded the video. I was recording videos of me like so pumped to go home and record this another video. Right. I come home, I record the iconic video that kind of got my TikTok on the map, I guess. And I recorded that and it popped for 1.8 million views. I remember I was literally at a high school basketball game from one of our local hometowns, and we were sitting there, and I said, I'm going to upload it, and I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it. And I remember I'm sitting next to him, and he says, I'm going to look at it. I'm like, all right, you know what? You look at it. I remember he looks at it, and he just looks at me, and he just goes, and like his mouth is and I'm like, what? He's like, you got to look at it. And I'm like, okay. I checked it. I'm like, 50,000 views. That's insane. And then literally as I was refreshing, it was going up like 4,000 views by the second. So that's kind of where that took off. It was original idea. Me and my buddy JP, we came up with it.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's really the $1 million idea right there. I mean, can you believe it? Like the way that introduced the players, it gave the feel like you're at an NBA game. Like that's what the feel was.
That's what I was going for right there. Was I wanted everybody to watch that video and be like, holy crap, guys, I'm getting introduced to an NBA lineup right now. And that's kind of the energy that I've taken with all of it. So if you get hyped from it, take what you want. Good for you. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like that you're truly at an NBA game. I mean, does that resonate with any experiences that you've had in an NBA game, or just a home game in general where you feel that energy from the announcers or anything like that?
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. No, like I've been to professional sports events and stuff like that, but basically me doing that is just me giving my best impression of what I would do if it were to be like announcing a starting lineup. So football and stuff like the music and stuff obviously changes. So like if you've watched my football videos recently, I do remember playing football in high school. The song Thunderstruck by AC/DC just gets me going, man. I'm like, that just fits a football vibe right there. So that's what makes me make the football videos to that. And so basically that's what I go for is like, I remember when I was a kid too, for the basketball videos, I said I went to small town Buffalo High School. I remember them playing the song that I use in the background of my videos and shining the spotlight around and then shining it on our fans, and they jump in the crowd and stuff like that. I know that's the original Chicago Bulls theme, but that's where I remember seeing it from when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, there's iconic songs when it comes to sports. I mean, of course, Thunderstruck, as you mentioned before. I mean, I don't know how many games I've seen in like community college football now, but like every single one of them happens to have Thunderstruck. Like there has to be like, and when it comes to the sport, there has to be that song that gets you pumped. And no matter what sport it is, it still gets you pumped no matter what.
For sure. I totally agree.
Yeah. So one of the things that I do want to mention as well, you do talk about your sports background when it comes to, playing sports like basketball and et cetera. So how was that first experience for sports for you?
So I'm going to tell you right now, sports is kind of what kept me on the right track. Don't get me wrong. I love my parents. They definitely raised me the best they could. And I wouldn't trade anything for it. But the thing is, my parents give me a lot of freedom too, super supportive over everything. And so they didn't force sports on me by any means. Like my parents were not the ones that said, hey, you have to play basketball. You have to play this, that. My parents said, if you want to do that, you go do it. And I had one rule. And I said, if you start, you can't finish. Or, okay, I'm sorry. if you start, you have to finish. You have to finish. And so, basically what the sports is, my parents did a really good job of turning it into life lessons rather than actual sports. So as you carry those on through life, you learn so much more through sports, in my opinion, than you do through certain things. So the first experience for sports for me is like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, honestly. It's crazy. I coach these sixth graders now, and I coach sixth grade basketball teams. And it's like, it's a fun group to coach because that is the age where you really feel like you're falling in love with the sport and you truly figure out like what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that positive influence that sports has. I mean, that influence from learning, from different sports and the different teachings and life lessons that they give. I mean, like that has to be a huge positive influence when it comes to even your coaching. I mean, have you gained that positive influence to your coaching?
I would say yes, I definitely have. And it's honestly, it's helped me a ton too, because it's trying to help these younger kids at these younger ages, showing them real life lessons and that, hey, basketball is fun. It's really fun, but there's a lot of life lessons you can take from basketball. So yeah, it's fun to win. It really is. But you don't win every single game. That's just not realistic. And it's life lessons such as being a good teammate and giving a good effort and having a good attitude. It's simple things like that that really come down to the nature between sports and life. And really, if you think about it, those all mesh. So like I said, giving a good effort in life. I mean, giving it your all, basically. I mean, you can't just, half do it. And then being a good teammate, being a good person. I can tell you one thing is whenever you graduate high school and anything like that, nobody's going to remember how good of an athlete you were. Nobody's going to remember how many points you scored in this game. Nobody's going to remember how many touchdowns you had, blah, blah. What they are going to remember is how good of a person you were. So be a good person, be a good teammate. And then attitude. I am a huge positive attitude kind of guy. Preach positivity, pull positives out of every single negative. And so I think with that, those lessons come from sports themselves. So I think there's more to it than that. But yeah, that's kind of my outlook on it.
No, that's a beautiful outlook. I mean, I go by the saying as well from that very similar mindset of, to live every single day like it's the best, you know what I mean? And to influence people around you like how you would want to be treated, and to really just, spread that positivity around. I feel like that now, especially with everything that's kind of going crazy right now, like, it's good to just, spread that positivity whenever you can, whether that's through content or just talking to people like this.
Right. I feel you. I totally agree. And see, I've kind of thought about dabbling in a little bit of motivational videos here and there on my TikTok. So definitely just trying to, my main goal is it's all for fun, man. And my main goal is I want people to watch my videos and I want them to laugh. I want them to laugh and be like, wow, that just made my day so much better. That is my end goal in all of this. It's not about endorsing. It's not about money or anything like that. I mean, I haven't made a dime off TikTok, but I've made a lot of people laugh. And to me, that's worth more than any money. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you get that reaction or you get that even positivity within yourself of like, hey, I enjoyed making this. I enjoyed doing this. I think that resonates so much with the audience. And they're like, this guy enjoys what he's doing. He's loving it. That's why they engage and that's why they subscribe, like, or whatever.
I think you're exactly right. And honestly, if you can't tell in my videos, I do have an absolute blast doing them. I mean, I wouldn't just go out in the snow for no reason. I mean, it's because it's fun. I love to do it, and I love to hype people up. That's what I'm here to do.
So if you had to pick, who would be the dream starting lineup for you to hype up?
Are we talking like, it depends on the sport. Are we talking NFL? Are you talking like a specific team? Are you talking like
any team from, let's just start off with baseball, or not baseball, I'm sorry, basketball. Why did I say basketball?
Basketball?
Basketball, right. Let's go.
So are you talking like one specific team? You're talking like any 5 players?
All time. All
right. My point guard would most likely be somebody like probably Magic Johnson.
Okay. Solid choice.
Shooting guard, I'm going to do Devin Booker. I absolutely love Devin Booker and his mentality. Okay. That guy is an absolute beast. My small forward, this is going to surprise a ton of people. Okay. Duncan Robinson on the Miami Heat. I'm representing. That guy is an animal. Okay. I love Duncan Robinson. I love him. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Power forward, I would probably do. I like Anthony Davis is not too bad. I like watching Anthony Davis in this era too. Mm-hmm. And then LeBron James has been playing center, so got LeBron James in there right now.
No, I mean, like, hey, he could play it all.
Yeah, I mean, hey, those guys would be in there. But I mean, yeah, dream-wise, those guys would be at the top of my list. I have a lot of favorite NBA players. LaMelo Ball, obviously, I'm repping him right now. One of my favorite players. I like to watch guys like I also like to watch guys that do some of the hard, dirty work that you really don't get mentioned. So like Gary Payton, the second or junior or whatever he is in the Golden State Warriors, that guy's a dog, man, and it's so much fun to watch him. So guys like that, those underdogs, I dig them. I dig them.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about underdogs too, I mean, for me, in my case, since I'm a Lakers fan, sorry, no Lakers fans out there.
That's all right. That's all right.
You know, I got to think of people like Steve Blake, Sasha Vujacic, the people that are like the underdogs, but like still contributed huge to championship wins. You know,
right. That's the thing is like there's so many of those underdogs. Like on the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green gets talked about a lot, but that dude, he's a good glue for that team. Draymond Green does a lot for that team, and people just don't understand that. Or like Andre Iguodala, he does a lot of good stuff for those teams.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely teams, whether it's through baseball, basketball, football, or whatever the case may be, that sure you have your star players, you have your Derek Jeters, and then you have your Tom Brady's and all that, but like you have people that are there on the team that are really the like shining stars of that team that don't get that much recognition.
Like the entire offensive line in NFL, those guys don't get enough. They don't. I always said I had coaches that told me that if they were going to let their daughters date anybody, it was going to be an offensive lineman. So they never talk about themselves, and they don't care about recognition. So,
yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that in sports that there's an old saying. It's like not all superheroes wear capes.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. You're spot on, Mike. You're spot on.
So one other thing I do want to mention as well is, we talk about, the content that you made and that, from your beginnings when loving sports and doing coaching as well. Talk to us, because we did mention it a little bit before, but if you could talk more in detail about the importance of family. Like for me, for example, like as you mentioned, kind of similar to what you said earlier, like I absolutely love my family to death. They're my number one supporters. They are the people that are behind my back. No matter how bad an audition goes or no matter how bad a podcast goes, that they're the number one people to bring me back up and keep going, even through a time where I'm stuck in my room for 5, 6, 7 days.
Yeah, no, I hear you totally.
So, how important is family to you?
Family's always going to take number one right up there with me. I have a twin sister, actually. I have a twin sister, and I have 2 older brothers, and my older brothers have both gotten married, and I have little nieces and nephews now. So my family means everything to me. I mean, my family takes priority over everything, and I'm not even going to lie to you. If my family all sat down and came to me and said, Hunter, we don't want you to ever upload another TikTok again, I probably wouldn't do it. I mean, honestly, like that's how much my family means to me. It's a priority in my life is to have my family. I grew up, and all 4 of me and my siblings were all within 4 years. We're all within 4 years old of each other. So me being the youngest, I'm 22, and then my oldest brother, he's 26. So all of us growing up in that age range, we all grew up super tight, like mesh, super close. Right. And so my family, all of them, they're my best friends. And so my family has played a huge part in my life. And the thing is, don't worry, guys, I'm not quitting TikTok. They're all super supportive of my TikTok. Don't worry. But they've been super supportive through all of it. And no matter what dreams I have, they've all just said, why not? Why not just go for it, So I uploaded a TikTok, and here it goes. And now they're just saying, like, go Hunter. They're the first ones to watch every single one of my videos. I mean, they're all just the best. So yeah, family is a huge priority to me. I love every single one of them. I would do anything for them. Yeah,
they're the biggest fans, and hey, it's without them, there wouldn't be us.
Right, exactly. Without them, and they're just a huge influence on me and even my content. Sometimes I had my sister in one of my videos. I think you guys saw that. So I mean, yeah, they're just a huge influence on me. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. And then side note as well, it's awesome to meet a fellow 22-year-old piece of gold as well.
Yeah. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by the time of this recording, I'm 22 still, but by the time this airs, I'm going to be 23.
3 days. 3 days. Let's get the Jordan year from Mike, boys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think that, too, because, it's crazy to think whenever I tell people my age, they're like, no, you're not. Like you are so way, like, I don't know if it's just like now it's the generation where we don't look our age anymore or the way we act.
It depends. If I have my beard, people are like, dude, you're at least 25. But without the beard, there's no way you're 22. So
I honestly don't get it. I mean, like, I've grown out this beard, whichever this is nowadays, like for about a couple months now. And with or without, I still look the same.
yeah. I totally hear you, man.
Oh, man. Well, Hunter, I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know we try to schedule this so many times, but we finally got a conversation going.
No big deal. No problem at all. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you had me on.
So before we go, the final question I always have for this podcast is always something that, means something to my heart, as in the name, your story. It's after everything that you've done thus far and everything that you're going to go do in the future, 2022 looks like a big year for Hunter Jones. So I'm very excited to see where that goes. Are you proud of your story? Like everything that you've accomplished thus far, and what are you going to do in the future?
100%. I'm going to tell you, there's definitely, obviously you can't live your life in the past. I mean, I'm a big motivational guy. And so, I mean, you got to look at it in the rear view mirror. I'm sure you've heard it, rear view mirror. You can't turn all the way around. But I'm proud of the story. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of the way that things are growing. I'm proud of the audience that I've attracted. This is truly like what I wanted to do. I always kind of thought about doing something on TikTok, but it was like I never knew what kind of audience I would attract. I've attracted the kind of audience that I want to be around. I want people that want to be around me. Mm-hmm. So as far as my story goes, I am beyond proud of it. I try to be the most humble person ever. If I ever were to make it to the top somehow, I'm taking everybody with me. They're coming with me. I don't take anything for granted. I don't deserve any of this, but somehow I've got it. And I'm just here trying to make the most of it. I'm living my best dream, dude. So I'm proud. I'm proud of the story that I've paved here, but I know there's only more to come. So I'm pretty excited for it, man.
Well, we're excited to see where Hunter Jones goes. Hunter, thank you so much for joining us. It was a great conversation, and I really do appreciate your time. For those who are wondering, where can they follow Hunter Jones? If they're like, man, I want to go on TikTok, man, I want to go on Instagram, I want to follow this dude.
You guys can follow me. All of my socials are the exact same. It is at XHunterJones. XHunterJones on all of my socials. If you guys do want to follow me, I appreciate every single one of you.
Awesome. And the links will always be down in the description because I remember to do them now. So. Yeah, you're the best. Oh, man. But thank you so much, Hunter. And we will see you guys. Oh, wait, before I do that, I'm always horrible at outros. If you guys want to do me a huge favor, if you're listening, why was I going to say watching first? If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you can listen to your podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Or you can always watch the full thing. And if you're watching the full thing, I'm looking at you guys right now. I appreciate every single one of you guys for actually looking and watching it. But if you plan on doing that, make sure you hit the subscribe button while you're doing that and hit a comment. Maybe talk about what your favorite part of the episode is. Hopefully, please, we need it. But thank you so much. And we will see you guys in the next episode of Your Story.